Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. I'm shooting this video from my closet, and there's a reason for that. I'm also not wearing pants, but you're not going to be able to see that because I am keeping the video up here because I'm getting ready to go to bed. But anyway, I'm shooting this video in my closet for a very specific reason. It's because I want to talk to you about something today that is related to having these awesome organized closets put in, which if you haven't done this in your house, I recommend this as an upgrade. It's a really cool upgrade. We had all the closets in our house basically had custom closets put in, and it saves you a lot of space. It's really nice. But anyway, the reason why I'm telling you about this has nothing to do with closets, but it has to do with service and never saying no. So we called a few different closet companies to get quotes for the closets for this house, and we talked to maybe like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 of them, and most of them came out and gave us quotes and measured the closets. One company in particular, I don't even remember their name now, they said they were too busy. No, that was basically their response, and I thought that's pretty dumb. And here's why. And this is what, the reason why is because they could have just said, sure, but it's going to be like $10,000. Are you okay with that? That's where our starting price for a closet is. Instead of saying no, they should have just quoted some ridiculous price, because if they do that, there's a chance that I might say yes, and then it's going to be totally worth their time. Then they can, drop someone else or reschedule someone else or hire some more people to go ahead and do that job rather than saying no. Every time you say no, you've fundamentally got something wrong with your business. It's a good thing, but you shouldn't say no. So how does this apply to you? So you as a software developer, especially if you're a freelancer, as a contractor, but even just in your life in general, you shouldn't say no. Never say no when someone, because you're too busy, right? I'm not saying to not ever say no, and obviously, in fact, you should say no more often, but don't say no because you're too busy, right? So if someone is, in fact, I was just talking to a gentleman this last weekend, and he was telling me about how I did this video on, let's see, this is way back. I did some video on asking for the moon, I think I called it, something like that. Asking for the moon, and basically I talked about this idea that you should ask big. And he said that, I think he said he watched that video, and then a client, he was too busy, a client, wanted him to do some work, and so he gave them some astronomical number. He quoted them something like, I think at that point he was billing like something like $75 an hour, and so he quoted him like $150 or $200 an hour, and they said yes, right? And that became his new bill rate. And now he just used that bill rate. That's exactly how I got to $300 an hour. I did this video on why I charge $300 an hour, which I don't charge $300 an hour now. I actually charge $500 an hour. In fact, I don't even charge by the hour. If you want me to do something for you, it starts at $5,000 a day. And that's just the rate. That's my minimum rate at this point. I may not even do a job at that rate. But how did I get to that point? The point was, the way I got to that point was I was too busy. I had too much work. I had too much stuff that I wanted to do, and someone wanted me to do something for them. So I said $300 an hour. I just threw that number out there, and they said yes. Right? That was the first time that happened, and then multiple clients wanted to pay me that amount of money, and then I got to the point where I was too busy at $300 an hour, and I didn't want to do work for $300 an hour, so my new rate became $500, and someone said yes to that. And and that's how you graduate up your rate. But the point of the story is not to brag about hourly rates, because honestly I really couldn't care, because I don't want to work on an hourly rate anymore. I've got more important things to do with Simple Programmer. But the point is that you, in your life, not just as a consultant or contractor, but you should never say no to opportunity because you're too busy. You should always instead aim high and name some kind of astronomical numbers. Name some kind of ridiculous figure, especially if you're in business. And sometimes people are going to say yes. In fact, they're going to say yes a lot more often than you think. And so why would you miss out on the opportunity? Why would you just say no, right? I mean, if you present some kind of crazy idea to me and you want me to do something, I'm always going to entertain it. We're always going to, have the phone call, or at least I'm going to shoot you back an email and say, hey, that'll be starting at $5,000 a day. You okay with that? And if you say yes, then hey, we're talking. We're in business here. And if you don't, then it's better than me just saying no, I'm too busy, right? That makes a lot more sense to me. So anyway, I thought this was a good kind of quick tip that you should you should really take into account. And like I said, these closets, yeah, you know, I like them. So yeah, all right. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.